Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naram Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtapraisha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 15, the saints Narad and Angira instruct King Chitraketu. Text number 3 onwards. So, very heavy instructions they're giving. Yatha paryanti samyanti sroto vegena baluka samyujyante viyujyante tatha kalena dehina. O king, as small particles of sand sometimes come together and are sometimes separated due to the force of the waves, the living entities who have accepted material bodies sometimes come together and are sometimes separated by the force of time. The misunderstanding of the conditioned soul is a bodily conception of life. And the body is material, but within the body is a soul. This is spiritual understanding. Unfortunately, one who is in ignorance, under the spell of material illusion, accepts the body to be the self. He cannot understand that the body is matter. Like small particles of sand, bodies come together and are separated by the force of time. And people falsely lament for unification and separation. Unless one knows this, there is no question of happiness. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, this is the first instruction given by the Lord. Dehino asmin yatha deha. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. We are not the body. We are spiritual beings trapped in the body. Our real interest lies in understanding this simple fact. Then we can make further spiritual progress. Otherwise, if we remain in the bodily conception of life, our miserable material existence will continue forever. Political adjustment, social welfare work, medical assistance, and other programs we have manufactured for peace and happiness will never endure. We shall have to undergo the sufferings of material life, one after another. Therefore, material life is said to be dukhalyam ashashvatam. It is a reservoir of miserable conditions. So, so this material life is nothing but misery. Misery anywhere, everywhere. Adibhautik, Adhyatmik, Adidevik klesha. These three will stay with us as long as we are in the material body. And what the shloka says, this body is what? And just like small particles of sand sometimes come together and then they're separated. Similarly, living entities, they take different bodies, they come together and they get separated. So what's the big deal? Of course, this is what Narad Muni and Angita Muni are speaking. But it's not that easy to adopt in our lives. But Maharaj Chitraketu, since he was that advanced, they could speak to him directly. Just like Narad Muni, earlier when he was speaking to Maharaj, Prachin Barhishat, he gave the story of Puranjan. He did not speak to him directly. The direct preaching he did not give him. And others also, he had to go around. But here, direct preaching, directly kicking his misconceptions out. Yatha dhanasu vaidhana bhavanti cha evam bhutani bhuteshu cha uditani mayaya. When seeds are sown in the ground, They sometimes grow into plants and sometimes do not. Sometimes the ground is not fertile and the sowing of seeds is unproductive. Similarly, sometimes a prospective father, being impelled by the potency of the Supreme Lord, can beget a child, but sometimes conception does not take place. Therefore, one should not lament over the artificial relationship of parenthood, which is ultimately controlled by the Supreme Lord. Hmm. So, so we think our parents, uh, because of our parents, we have taken birth. No, it all happens. Ultimately, it's controlled by the Supreme Lord. Maharaj Chitraketu was actually not destined to get a son. Therefore, although he married hundreds and thousands of wives, or 10 million to be exact, all of them proved barren, and he could not beget even one child. When Angira Rishi came to see the king requested the great sage to enable him to have at least one son. Because of the blessing of Angira Rishi, a child was sent by the grace of Maya, but the child was not to live for long. Therefore, in the beginning, Angira Rishi told the king that he would beget a child who would cause jubilation and lamentation. So he was, Chitraketu Maharaj was not supposed to have a child. But Angira Rishi could do that, but it did not stay for too long. And that too, Angira Rishi did that because him and Narad Muni, they wanted to preach to Maharaj Chitraketu. King Chitraketu was not destined to get a child by providence or the will of the Supreme. Just as sterile grain cannot produce more grain, a sterile person by the will of the Supreme Lord cannot beget a child. Sometimes a child is born even to an impotent father and sterile mother, and sometimes a potent father and fertile mother are childless. Indeed, sometimes a child is born despite contraceptive methods, and therefore the parents kill the child in the womb. In the present age, killing children in the womb has become a common practice. Why? When contraceptive methods are taken, why don't they act? Why is a child sometimes produced so that the father and mother have to kill it in the womb? We must conclude that our arrangement of so-called scientific knowledge cannot determine what will take place. What is enacted actually depends on the supreme will. It is by the supreme will that we are situated in certain conditions in terms of family, community, and personality. These are all arrangements of the Supreme Lord according to our desires under the spell of Maya, illusion. In devotional life, therefore, one should not desire anything, since everything depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhakti Rasamrit Sandhu, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. One should act only to develop Krishna consciousness. For everything else, one should fully depend upon the Supreme Person. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. Because everything depends on Him. It doesn't mean we don't do our duties, we don't do our activities. It doesn't mean that. But we should not be, that's what Bhagavad Gita says, right? We should not be attached to the results. Whichever way, negative or positive results. Results are not going to happen according to our desire or according to our efforts. Results are going to happen according to the mercy of Krishna, whatever He wants. A devotee knows this. So that's why devotees are peaceful. They do their jobs, they do their businesses, but they are peaceful. They are always happy. They are always dependent upon Krishna. Those who are not devotees are never peaceful because they always want more, 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 and more. But not everything is in their hands. The results are not in their hands. Just like Prabhupada is explaining here, sometimes a child is born even to an impotent father and sterile mother. It can happen. And sometimes a potent father and fertile mother are childless. So now Prabhupada says, okay, if somebody uses contraceptive method and still the child is born, but this is what the demoniac civilization is, that they just want to kill the child in the womb of the mother. Oh, we don't want this child, let's just abort him. Or in India, so many baby girls get killed. It's so pathetic and so sinful. A little child, how big he is. There are many YouTube videos where they have shown how they do this abortion. The poor child, he cannot even defend himself. And he's so small. He cannot defend. He doesn't even know what's happening in the womb of his mother and what is this thing coming, and it just sucks him out. Kill him. And the problem is, they think that they'll just get away from it, get away with it, because it is legal in our country. It might be legal in our country because those laws are created by sinful men. The laws are not created by God. So anybody and everybody, whoever is involved in this killing of little helpless baby, everybody will get punished. Every single person, and for every single instance, they will get punished. That's for sure. And for everything else also, any sinful activity cannot go unnoticed and cannot go unpaid for. But Kali Yuga, it's just the beginning of Kali Yuga. It's not even towards the end or towards the peak of Kali Yuga. It's just the beginning. And so many sinful activities are going on. So many crimes are going on. Vayam cha tvam cha ye che me tulya kalaschara charaha janma mrityor yatha paschat prang nevam adhunapi bho. O king, both you and we, your advisors, wives and ministers, as well as everything moving and non-moving throughout the entire cosmos at this time, are in a temporary situation. Before our birth, this situation did not exist, and after our death, it will exist no longer. Therefore, our situation now is temporary, although it is not false. It is true, but it is temporary. The Mayavadi philosopher says, Brahm Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahman, the living being, is factual, but his present bodily situation is false. According to the Vaishnava philosophy, however, the present situation is not false, but temporary. It is like a dream. A dream does not exist before one falls asleep, nor does it continue after one awakens. The period for dreaming exists only between these two, and therefore it is false in the sense that it is impermanent. Similarly, the entire material creation, including our own creation and those of others, is impermanent or temporary. We do not lament for the situation in a dream before the dream takes place or after it is over. And so during the dream or during a dreamlike situation, one should not accept it as factual and lament about it. This is real knowledge. But we are so much worried about this dreamful life or dreamful situation that we forget the the permanent situation. We really people really have no idea about the spiritual world where everything is permanent, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. But we are so much in Maya that we want to live in this dream state where everything is temporary. There's nothing permanent in this material world. Nothing. Even Brahmaji is not permanent. So according to earthly calculations, he lives for 311 trillion 40 billion years. But his calculation wise, it's still 100 years. And from the calculation of Lord Mahavishnu, it's just one breath. That's it. So everything is temporary. So why we are making so many efforts to make this temporary situation comfortable? It's just like if we take a train ride from say Delhi to wherever, Mumbai, and we have our reservation in a 3AC, and we get our seat, and then we start making arrangements over there. That this seat, I don't like the cushion, and I order a nice cushion for that seat, and nice pillow or mattress has to be there, and we start making some walls around that and this or that, and painting it differently. I don't like how the railways have painted it, or do this, that. We're gonna get down in Mumbai. So this is what we do. We forget the real situation, the real journey, and while traveling in this, we get so involved with the temporary things that we forget the permanent. Just like there's a story that a person went from America and he was traveling on a world trip, and he went to Himalayas, and he saw a yogi there. And, yogi had a little hut, and he would do his tapasya. And in his hut, he didn't have anything. Nothing. No, obviously they don't need any bedding. They don't take any bedding or anything. So this traveler went to the yogi's hut, and he was asking him questions, and he asked him, how come you don't have any possessions? How come you don't have anything? And the yogi asked the traveler, how come you don't have anything? The traveler said, well, I'm traveling. That's why I didn't carry anything. I carry a bare minimum. I'm traveling. Well, yogi said, well, so am I. So this is realization. We all are travelers. And somehow or other, by the mercy of the Lord, we come together, and same thing happens in our families. So somehow or other, we have come together. We are born into this father and mother through the arrangement of the Lord, in this family of whoever the grandparents are, and then the parents, and then the parents have their brothers and sisters, and then they have children. So we have our brothers and sisters and other relatives, and then we grow up, then we have set of friends, and then we get married, we have wives or husbands or children, and then the family keeps on growing, and grandparents start to leave, and then the parents leave their bodies. So all come together, all get separated, somehow or other, and the life goes on. The journey goes on. It doesn't stop, but everything is temporary. But our relationship with Krishna is permanent. Our position in spiritual world is permanent. So that is what we have to work on. Rest everything. Bhutar bhutani bhutesha srijati vati hanti cha atmasrishtar swatantrar anpeksho api balavat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master and proprietor of everything, is certainly not interested in the temporary cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, just as a boy at the beach creates something in which he is not interested, the Lord, keeping everything under his control, causes creation, maintenance, and annihilation. He creates by engaging a father to beget a son. He maintains by engaging a government or king to see to the public's welfare. And he annihilates through agents for killing, such as snakes or coronavirus. Of course, Prabhupada didn't say that, I'm adding that. The agents for creation, maintenance, and annihilation have no independent potency. But because of the spell of the illusory energy, one thinks himself the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. No one can independently create, maintain, or annihilate. Bhagavad Gita therefore says, Prakriti Kriyamana. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by nature. Prakriti, material nature, as directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, induces all living entities to create, maintain, or annihilate, according to the modes of nature. But the living entity, without knowledge of the Supreme Person and his agent, the material energy, thinks that he is the doer. That I think I am creating something. I have made this company. I have made this product. I am the creator. Or then again, I'm the maintainer. See, I have opened such a big factory and I have employed 15,000 people and I'm maintaining them. Is that the fact? We cannot even maintain ourselves. Nobody can. It's not that just by taking medicines or doing exercise, our body functions properly. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the fire of digestion in anybody's body. And many other things. I'm forgetting, I'm not remembering all of them. I am the fire of digestion. He did not say you get the digestion by doing some yoga or exercise or taking some pudin hara or hajmola or whatever. He never said that. I am the fire of digestion, Krishna says clearly. And what if we cannot digest our food, the food that we eat, we cannot digest? What is going to happen? Can we even maintain ourselves? He says, from me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, knowledge. Everything comes from me, he says. What if we sleep at night and we think we are such a big engineer or doctor or industrialist or politician or a scientist or whatever we are, and we in the morning when we wake up, Krishna makes us forget all our acquired knowledge. He can do that. From he comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Then what we are going to do? If we don't even remember what kind of scientist I was, we don't even, then we are not even going to remember how we're supposed to wear the pants. What are we going to do? We think we are somebody very big. We are nothing. Somehow or other, being pleased by our some pious activities, Krishna has given us some capabilities. Some people have more capabilities of making money or doing something big. Some people have lesser capabilities. That's all. But it's all coming from Krishna. It's not independently coming to us. And that's what Prabhupada says. But the living entity, without knowledge of the Supreme Person and his agent, the material energy, thinks that he is the doer. In fact, he is not at all the doer. As an agent of the Supreme Doer, the Supreme Lord, one should abide by the Lord's orders. The present chaotic conditions of the world are due to the ignorance of leaders who forget that they have been appointed to act by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because they have been appointed by the Lord, their duty is to consult the Lord and act accordingly. The book for consultation is Bhagavad Gita, in which the Supreme Lord gives directions. Therefore, those who are engaged in creation, maintenance, and annihilation should consult the Supreme Person who has appointed them and should act accordingly. Then everyone will be satisfied and there will be no disturbances. But till we do that, everybody thinks I am the controller, I am the creator, I am the maintainer, and then everybody's egos are going to clash. And that's where the problems are. Kali Yuga means the age of quarrel, hypocrisy, fights. And this is what people do. Look at all over the world. People are fighting. Everywhere they're fighting. So that is why the manuals are important, and the manual for life is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So in which the Supreme Lord gives directions how to live properly. So anyway, still many heavy instructions are there by Narad Muni and Angira Rishi. So we'll study them together tomorrow. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavats.
Hare Krishna.
Hare. Thank you. Very instructive class. Very soothing and peaceful to the heart.
Thank you for joining. This is Manohar Krishna Prabhu from Minneapolis, and we were batchmates in engineering college. Thank you for joining, and I hope you can give us your association always.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe sometimes you can take the class.
No, I am not qualified to. I was just reading yesterday through second canto. There's a verse on 5th chapter. He was saying 5th chapter 33rd verse. So 2, 5, 33rd, I think. He says that thus all these became assembled by the force of energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This universe certainly came into being by accepting both the primary and the secondary causes of creation. तो इसमें प्रभुपाद जी ने कहा है कि जिस तरह से कार असेंबली में कार असेंबल होती है तो उसी तरह से we get assembled, this body gets assembled and this whole universe get assembled, and then it separates. So there is a binding force. That binding force is Krishna. Otherwise we will be this. Even this hand cannot stay together.
Yeah. Binding force is Krishna. All the elements are Krishna. Energy is
Yeah.
Krishna. The soul is also comes from Krishna. And what do you get proud of?
Right. Right. And for some time, we are the driver in this assembled car, which is made of material energy, like 1831, yeah, 1861. So Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Deshyan Tishtati. So Brahmanam Bhutani Yantra Rurani Maya. So we are just in a we are in this material in a instrument made of material energy. We are like a driver, and we are just here for some time, and we think that we are the car.
But the driver cannot drive on its own either, until super solo
Right.
gives him sanction.
Yeah. But our memory is so short, Prabhuji, that we forget and we get involved in this dream. As you're saying, we think that we are part of this dream. And we cry and we laugh and we are happy. Sometimes we are sad.
Yeah, that's one. Devi Esha Gunamami Mai Mamaya Duratyaya. It's very difficult. We forget. Okay. Any other question or comment? Okay, so we'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri